Hello and welcome to Simple French Cooking. My name is Francois, and today I'm going to take this beautiful steak, this tarragon that I just picked out of my garden, and these beautiful potatoes that I just dug, also from my garden, and turn them into one of the best dishes ever. Did you guess it? Steak free. Join me today as I teach you how I make steak free with a Bearnaise sauce. Step one. Let's make our fries first. Now, who doesn't love French fries? And I mean, when you think about it, what are the best fries? For me, it's the crunchy exterior, the creamy, soft, almost mashed potato-like center. And that's really easy to do at home. A lot of people don't think it is, but it's really not as hard as you think. So we got to start out by peeling potatoes. So I'm going to peel 4 potatoes. This should be enough for, depending how much you eat, 2 or 3, maybe 4 people. I also like to peel with a paring knife instead of a vegetable peeler. It just seems way quicker to me. But if you prefer using a paring knife, a vegetable peeler, just go ahead. So we're just going to cut these off here. And it's really important when you're making French fries at home. You want to get as much starch out of the potatoes. Less starch is going to result in crispier fries. Step 2 of the fries is to cut them into fry shapes. Now you could do this by hand, very easy to do. You know, just cut down, and then you can just cut like this, and boom, you have fries. Or you can cut potatoes on something like a Mandoline, or you could also get a special fry cutter, and I'll put a couple links in the descriptions. But a Mandoline is basically a sharp blade, and then you have different attachments like this one here, if you can see that. There you go. With sharp little like razors. I mean, and I've seen people cut themselves really bad, so you need to be careful. Underneath you can adjust the thickness, you know, so we're looking for the classic fry shape. Mandolines usually come with guards that you can load up your potatoes in. I like to use a kitchen towel, so I just wrap the kitchen towel around my hand like this, and then I'll just push. And what they'll do is they'll prevent my hand from getting cut when I get down to the bottom. So it's just really easy. So you're just pushing the potato through the cutter like this. And that's what I mean about the last piece. All right. And then look at that. You end up with these just like perfect fry shapes. No muss, no fuss. So one thing we need to talk about before we move on any further is like the size that you're cutting your potatoes. So pretty much I cut these like a standard fry size, like what you get in most restaurants. And that's because I like a crunchy exterior with the creamy interior, like a mashed potato almost in the inside. If you cut fries more like shoestring potatoes, those are great. You're going to end up with super crunchy potatoes, but there's not enough in the inside to make it kind of creamy. And I like the balance of the two. So, you know, cut it whatever thickness you like. Just bear in mind, you want more crunchy, cut them smaller. You want them more creamy, cut them bigger. If you like the perfect mix, stick with the classic size. I've soaked my potatoes now for about 2 hours. So the next step, this is going to be kind of weird, and this is not in my cookbook, is that you need to blanch these in boiling salted water. And we're just going to drop them in, bring it back to boil, and take them out. We're really not trying to cook them much, but this is going to help with the creamy interior. All right, so bring the pot of water to a rapid boil, and we're just gonna take our fries, drop them in, and then we're just gonna bring it back to a boil. All right, I just pulled these out of the water. Now I'm gonna let these cool off. I put them on a cookie sheet, and I'm gonna pop this in my fridge and let them cool down for about an hour or so. Now comes the fun part. We get to do the first of 2 fries. So the first fry, we do it 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and you should definitely use a thermometer in your oil to make sure you're holding your temperature. Because all we're trying to do, we're not trying to get any color on this fry. All we're doing is giving a better outer skin to the fry. So this is like the oil blanching part of it. And you want to make sure you dry your fries off a lot, because the scariest thing in the world is when your hot oil overflows and boils out over all over your counter, your range. It can be very dangerous. Obviously the oil will catch on fire, so be very careful when you do this. Don't overcrowd the pan. So what I generally do is I use vegetable oil to fry in. I put about 2 quarts in my cast iron pan here, and then I'll fry maybe half of the potatoes now, and then I'll do the other half in the next batch when the oil heats back up. All right, and that's about half the fries right there. And so the fries are you're gonna kind of see on the outside that they're just gonna cook a bit. They're not gonna turn a different color, but they start getting this like skin on them. And this is all gonna help us just make a better fry in the end. All right, so the good news is you can prep your fries all the way up to this point before you're like doing your meal when you're ready for your steak frite. Right now I'm just gonna cook a handful because I'm gonna wait till I cook my steak, make my sauce and all the other things, but I wanted to show you how the fries look. So we're gonna heat the oil up to 375 for the final fry, and we're just gonna drop them in. And this time we're cooking them all the way to the golden brown, crispy and perfect. And if you can see, they're already browning nice and quickly. Got some good color on the edges. All right, look at these. They're already looking fantastic. Oh, I cannot wait to eat my steak frite later on. Now, I would get everything ready. Like when you're cooking your steak and everything, I would have the steak cooked, the sauce is made, you're doing the final fry, and then that's it. You eat right away. There's nothing worse than a soggy fry. All right, so we're gonna drain them really well. And then I usually toss them in a bowl that's lined with a clean cloth. And so what that does is catches all the first oil. And just flip them out. A little bit of salt and pepper. All right, let's give this a try. Wow. These are crunchy on the outside, totally creamy on the inside. Best fries you'll ever eat. Time to make the Bearnaise sauce. Oh my God, this is my favorite sauce for a steak. It's so easy. A Bearnaise, in case you don't know, is kind of a tangy tarragon flavored hollandaise. It's also the best thing in the world to dip your French fries in. I mean, forget ketchup, just try Bearnaise. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna dice one small shallot. And if you don't have a shallot, use an onion. I'm not gonna tell anybody. And we're gonna put this into a pot. We're gonna add a 1/4 cup of white vinegar. Now, if you don't have white vinegar or you want to use tarragon vinegar, you could use tarragon vinegar. If you don't have tarragon or white vinegar, use red wine vinegar. Really, in the end, it's just going to make the sauce a little bit different color, but it's nothing bad. Then we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And just remember, a good Bearnaise sauce should have like a little bit of a bite of acid. It should have a little bit of the anise flavor from tarragon, a little spicy from the black peppercorns. All right, so we're gonna turn this on to high heat. And what we're trying to do is we're just gonna reduce this down till it's really thick. So to the basic reduction, I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon or so of tarragon. And you want to save tarragon. You want to save some extra tarragon to add to the sauce at the end, because when it cooks here, it's going to lose all its beautiful green color. I would suggest too always using fresh tarragon to make a Holland Bearnaise. To me, the flavor is just better. You can find fresh tarragon in most grocery stores, in the produce section. Oh God, I just cut this and all I'm smelling is that beautiful anisey flavor. All right, we're gonna drop that in there. You know, it's pretty potent when you're standing above the vinegar cooking off, so watch out, it'll definitely clear out your nostrils. And so this is gonna take probably about 5 minutes to reduce down. All right, so in my bowl I have 3 egg yolks, and I'm going to add the reduction that we just made. Mix that in there. And I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of water. You could also use white wine if you like. There we go. We're gonna whisk this up and heat it over a double boiler. After we take the reduction out of this pan, I don't want to get any more pans dirty, so I'm just gonna add about a cup or so of water to this pan, and we're going to use it as a double boiler. So let's whisk together our egg mixture, put it on top, and we're just going to start whisking. And you want to keep stirring the bottom, making sure you're getting all the corners. We're going to just cook the eggs until they start to thicken. In the meantime, too, I've melted 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks. And the temperature is just a little bit warmer than my finger. And you can, you know, like 100 degrees or so, 105, somewhere in there. All right, when you see it starting to thicken up like that, we want to turn it off. Beautiful. And now we're just gonna start whisking in the butter really slowly. In fact, I'm gonna take this whole pan right here. Put that on top, and that'll help hold it in place. I'm just going to add the butter really slowly, super thin stream. And this sauce you can make half an hour to an hour before you eat. You're going to want to keep it warm, so I usually keep it on a towel on near my kitchen stove. Look at that, it's just coming together. Kind of looks like a really beautiful eggy mayonnaise. That's tasting great. I'm going to add a pinch of salt here. All right. Take a look at that. Nice and thick. It's delicious. Perfect. Let's make our steak now. Okay, here we are at the final step. We gotta cook our steak. I like to use hanger steaks or ribeyes. To me, they have the best flavor. Not much of a strip person or a filet, but you know, cook whatever makes you happy. And I like to put a decent amount of flake salt on both sides. Lots of black pepper. Let's get that puppy on both sides. You know, I mean, really, just season it up whatever way you enjoy. All right, and then some herbs de Provence. And do you know, real herbs de Provence from France does not have lavender, and it's really interesting that they do that for the American market. Kind of weird, but I think it's because so many people associate Provence with lavender fields. Anyways, all right. And also, this steak's been out now for 2 hours. In the meantime, I'm going to turn my pan on, get that heating up. Put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. And we want to get that pan screaming hot. I'm also going to marinate my steak here with a little bit of chopped garlic. I shouldn't really say marinate. What I mean to say is I'm going to flavor, season. All right, let's just rough chop this. Alrighty. Get that all on there. Sometimes I do this a few hours before. And sometimes, like today, I just did this last minute. All right, and I just like to push it in on both sides. All right, let's cook this puppy up. All right, once your pan is like smoking hot, you see the smoke coming off this guy, I'm just gonna drop this in there. And then I'm gonna cook it about 5 minutes on both sides. I want it to be rare, but get a good crust on it. Oh my God, I'm so excited right now. I'm like literally drooling on myself. So I got my steak cooked. I cooked some frites. I have my Bearnaise sauce ready. Let's give this guy a taste. All right. Just put a couple slices on here. Put some fries. I also have these really cool currant tomatoes. They're so teeny, but they're so much flavor. Let's give this a taste. Mm. 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 Perfectly crunchy. I mean, listen to this. Listen to this. Oh. Listen, you can make great fries at home. You don't need to go out. Yeah, it takes a little effort. It's not just like opening a bag, throwing it in the oven. But they taste so good. So thanks for watching. And I appreciate it if you don't mind subscribing to my channel. Oh my God. Best dinner ever. Anyways, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell. Thanks for watching. Perfect.